Success through a positive mental attitude. You are what you think. But what do you think? How orderly are your thought processes? How straight is your thinking? And how clean are your thoughts? There are certain mental cobwebs that clutter up the thinking of almost everyone, even the most brilliant minds. Negative. Feelings, emotions, passions, habits, beliefs, and prejudices, our thoughts become entangled in these webs. Sometimes we have undesirable habits, and we want to correct them. And there are times when we are strongly tempted to do wrong. Then, like an insect caught in a spider's web, we struggle to get free. Our conscious will is in conflict with our imagination and the will of our subconscious mind. The more we struggle, the more we become entrapped. Some persons give up and experience the mental conflicts of a living hell. Others learn how to tap and use the powers of the subconscious through the conscious mind. They are victorious. And success through a positive mental attitude teaches you how to tap and use these powers. An insect may not be able to avoid being caught in the spider's web. And when once trapped, it is unable to free itself. There is one thing, however, over which each person has absolute inherent control, and that is his mental attitude. We can avoid mental cobwebs. We can clear them. And we can sweep them away as they begin to develop. We can free ourselves when once enmeshed. And we can remain free. But we don't act from reason alone. And action based on common sense is the result of more than just reason. It depends upon habits of thought and action, intuitions, experiences, and other influences such as tendencies and environment. One of the cobwebs of our thinking is to assume that we act from reason alone, when in reality every conscious act is the result of doing what we want to do. We make decisions. There is a tendency when reasoning to draw conclusions favorable to the strong inner urges of our subconscious mind. And this tendency exists in everyone, even the great thinkers and philosophers. In 31 BC, a Greek philosopher who lived in a city on the Aegean Sea wanted to go to Carthage. He was a teacher of logic. Therefore, he contemplated reasons in favor of making the voyage and reasons against it. For every reason as to why he should go, he found that there were many more reasons why he shouldn't. Of course, he would be seasick. The boat was so small that a storm might jeopardize his life. Pirates with swift sailing vessels were lying in wait off Tripoli to prey upon merchant vessels. If his ship were captured by them, they would take his worldly goods and sell him into slavery. Discretion indicated that he should not make the trip. But he did. Why? Because he wanted to. It so happens that emotion and reason should be in balance in everyone's life. Neither should always hold the controlling hand. So sometimes it is good to do what you want to do instead of what reason fears. As to this philosopher, he had a most pleasant journey and arrived back home safely. Now we see that cobwebs prevent accurate thinking when we start with the wrong premise. So many persons think inaccurately when they allow all-embracing word symbols to clutter up their minds with false premises. Such words or expressions as always, only, never, nothing, every, everyone, no one, can't, impossible, they're, or are most frequently false premises. Consequently, when they are so used, their logical conclusions are false. You are a mind with a body. Because you are a mind, you possess mystical powers, powers known and unknown. Dare to explore the powers of your mind. Why explore them? When you make the discoveries that are awaiting you, they can bring you physical, mental, and moral health, happiness and wealth, success in your chosen field of endeavor, and even a means to affect, use, control, or harmonize with powers known and unknown. And dare to investigate all non-physical forces lying outside the realm of known physical processes, forces which you can use when you learn how to apply them. And this will not be so difficult for you, no more difficult than turning on a television set for the first time. For a little child can tune into his favorite television program. Now, when he does, he neither knows the construction of the broadcasting station or his receiving set, nor the technology involved. But that's all right. For all the child needs to know is how to turn the right knob or push the right button. You will see in this chapter how you can turn the right knob or push the right button to get what you want from the most effective electrical machine ever conceived. Although this particular machine is the sublime handiwork of divine power, you own it. How is it made? Well, among other things, it is comprised of over 80 trillion electrical cells. Naturally, it has many component parts, and each part is in itself an electrical mechanism, and one part is an electrical marvel, yet it weighs only 50 ounces. Its mechanism consists of over 10 billion cells which generate, receive, record, and transmit energy. What is this wonderful machine that you own? Your body. You are and will be the same, even though you lose an arm, an eye, or other parts of your body. And the electrical marvel, your brain and your nervous system. It is the mechanism through which your body is controlled and through which your mind functions. And your mind, it too, has parts. One is known as the conscious and the other the subconscious. They synchronize. They work together. Scientists have learned a great deal about the conscious mind. Yet it has been less than 100 years since we began to explore the vast unknown territory of the subconscious, even though primitive man has deliberately used the mystical powers of the subconscious from the beginning of man's history. And even today, the Aborigines of Australia and other primitive peoples do so to a very great extent. You know, conscious autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect, permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into the rich garden of his mind. When you read aloud twice, daily the written statement of your desire for money with emotion and concentrated attention, and you see and feel yourself already in possession of the money, you communicate the object of your desire directly to your subconscious mind. Through repetition of this procedure, you voluntarily create it. Thought habits which are favorable to your efforts to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent. It is most important that when you read aloud the statement of your desire through which you are endeavoring to develop a money consciousness, you read with emotion and strong feeling. Your ability to use the principles of autosuggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until that desire becomes a burning desire. Throughout success, through a positive mental attitude, you will see many self-motivators which you can use for your own. Self-suggestion. When death's door is about to open, there are over 450,000 children born out of wedlock in the United States each year, and over 1.5 million teenagers enter penal institutions for car thefts and other crimes. These personal tragedies could in many instances be avoided if the parents learned how to employ suggestion properly, and if their sons and daughters were taught how effectively to use spiritual self-suggestion. Through the proper use of suggestion, these young people could be motivated to develop inviolable moral standards through their own conscious autosuggestion. And they would know how to neutralize or repel the undesirable suggestions of their associates in an intelligent manner. You are a mind with a body. Your body is an electrical machine. Your brain is a mechanism that is an electrical marvel. Your mind has two parts, the conscious and the subconscious. They work together. Conscious autosuggestion and self-suggestion are synonymous and are contrasted with the word autosuggestion, an unconscious activity. Autosuggestion automatically sends messages from the subconscious to the conscious mind, as well as to parts of the body. The subconscious mind is the seat of habit, memory, inviolable standards of conduct, etc. Day by day, in every respect, I am getting better and better. Self-affirmations repeated with frequency, rapidity, and emotion affect the subconscious mind and cause it to react. Bill McCall acquired wealth through the use of self-suggestion. Ku's great discovery was, you can use healthful, positive suggestions to help yourself, and you can also refrain from negative, harmful suggestions. Learn to use the proper suggestion in influencing others. Learn to Employ the right conscious autosuggestions. When you do, you can have physical, mental, and moral health, happiness, and success. Your brain sends out energy in the form of brain waves. And this energy is power which can affect another person or an object. A little knowledge may be a dangerous thing. Dare to explore the powers of your mind. When you enter the dangerous, unexplored territory of psychic phenomena, let Dr. Joseph Banks' Rhine be your guide. Have you sincerely tried and still failed? Perhaps you failed because there was something more that was needed to bring you the success you were seeking. Euclid's axiom says, "The whole is equal to the sum of all the parts, and is greater than any of its parts." This can be rated, assimilated, and applied to every result or achievement. Conversely, any part is smaller than the whole. Therefore, it's important that you add all the necessary parts to complete the whole. A negative mental attitude is one of the primary causes of failure. You may be needlessly ignorant of facts, universal laws, and powers. You may know many of them, but fail to apply them to a specific need. You may not know how you can affect, use, control, or harmonize with powers known and unknown. Failure is experienced by those who, when they experience defeat, stop trying to find the something more. It's easy when you learn the something more and experience the know-how. Give a puzzle to a child, and he may not solve it. If he keeps trying and learns how to solve it, he can then work it quickly. You aren't a child, but perhaps there are several of life's puzzles you would like to solve. You may make $1 million by employing a success formula. If you lose your money, you can make another million and even more. That is, provided you know the formula and apply it. Suppose you didn't recognize the formula that helped you make your first million. You may fail in your second attempt because you deviate from the principles of success that are applicable. On your second attempt, you may need to make adjustments for changing conditions. But the principles will remain the same. When you receive a flash of inspiration, write it down. This may be the something more that you are looking for. We believe that communication with infinite intelligence is through the subconscious mind. We believe you should establish the habit of immediately writing down flashes of inspiration as they are communicated to you from the subconscious to the conscious. Learn creative thinking from the creative thinker. Your Creative Power and Applied Imagination by Alex F. Osborne of the advertising firm of Batten, Barton, Durstein, and Osborne have inspired hundreds of thousands of persons to engage in creative thinking. What is equally important, these people have been motivated to positive, constructive action. Thinking is not creative unless it is followed through with action. The sources of all ideas are knowledge stored in the subconscious mind and acquired through individual experience, observation, and education. Knowledge accumulated by others through the same media, which may be communicated by telepathy. The great universal storehouse of infinite intelligence, wherein is stored all knowledge and all facts, and which may be contacted through the subconscious section of the mind. You, like Christopher Columbus, may fail to reach your high major objectives or your magnificent obsessions. You, like him, may fail in your efforts to reach a distant destination in the realm of the unknown. But you may discover something more, something equaling the wealth of the Americas. You, like him, may inspire and direct those who follow you to head in the right direction, on the right course, and to continue further into the unknown until they achieve the worthwhile objectives you conceived. You, like Columbus, have the time and the power to think. You, like him, can persistently strive with a positive mental attitude to achieve your definite major aims, to find something more. You don't need to be ashamed to be a failure like Christopher Columbus. Learn the principles. Apply them. If you're not making satisfactory progress toward achieving your aims, look for the something more. It may be known or unknown, but you'll find it if you take the necessary time to study. think plan, and search for it. But the law of gravity or any other law is not in itself a power yet. When you properly use the principle, then power is employed according to universal law. And thus, the breaking of the atom, every invention, every chemical formula, every psychic phenomenon, every individual action and reaction, be it physical, mental, or spiritual, is the result of the use of natural law. For every result, there is a cause. And the result is brought about through the use of cosmic habit force. Stop and think about it for a moment. Do you know of a single instance where any real achievement was made in your life or in the life of any person in history that was not due to a problem with which the individual was faced? Everyone has problems. This is because you and everything in the universe are in a constant process of change. Change is an inexorable natural law. What is important to you is that your success or failure to meet the challenges of change are dependent upon your mental attitude. You can direct your thoughts and control your emotions, and thus regulate your attitude. You can choose whether your attitude will be positive or negative. You can decide whether you will affect, use, control, or harmonize with the changes in yourself and your environment. You can ordain your destiny